getting you ready for game time. Join me, Sal from Behind the Arc Basketball, as I announce play-by-play. Make sure to smash the like and subscribe, because now we're about to go live. Entering the pregame, we now present Sal from Behind the Arc Basketball. And what's good, everybody? Welcome in. It is Champ Week here, as we got play-by-play coverage tonight of the Big 12 quarterfinals. The number 2 seed, the Texas Longhorns, taking on the number 7 seed, the Oklahoma State Cowboys for this matchup. Oklahoma State right now directly on the bubble. Joe Lunardi predicting Oklahoma State to be in the play-in game in the last 4 teams in column, alongside Penn State, Rutgers, and Utah State. Major matchup tonight, especially so for the Cowboys. Texas right now projected to be a number 2 seed in the tournament field, the 2 seed in the Big 12 tournament as well tonight. And Texas coming in as the favorite, 7-point favorite in this matchup. Over under set at 141.5. Texas winning the last 3 out of 5. Oklahoma State struggling down the stretch. Key player injured for Oklahoma State late in the season for them, as they had Avery Anderson missing time out due to injury, number 3 scorer in the team. And Oklahoma State's been fluttering as of late, but they won the last 2 straight games against Oklahoma last night to get themselves in position and keep their tournament hopes alive. Trip Poo, Ryan, Bryce, welcome in. Sorry to hear about Michigan today there, Bryce, for you. But other teams around that cutoff line keep on losing. We'll keep on updating you guys with scores throughout college basketball throughout the course of the night, because this is getting interesting. I think a lot of us thought at the beginning of the day Wisconsin was done, but Michigan lost, and right now Nevada was trailing. Nevada ties San Jose State 46-46. So a lot of games going on. UNC also in action tonight against Virginia. That game tips off at the same time as this game. Major game for UNC. UNC needs to keep on winning. Virginia with a key injury for Virginia. Ben Vanderplas out for the season. Broken hand yesterday in practice for Virginia. The number 5 scorer for Virginia. So major injury update there for Virginia entering that game, as that will tip off the same time as we tip off Oklahoma State, Texas tonight. And then Villanova, later tonight, they're going to have to win the Big East tournament title to get into March Madness for Villanova, but they've been soaring up red hot as of late. They take on Creighton tonight at 9:30. Arkansas, Auburn, I think both of those teams are safe in the bracket right now, but major game tonight. That's a 10-7 matchup in the SEC tournament. Cannot believe I'm saying that right now, but 7 versus 10 matchup in the SEC tournament. Going to be an absolute just bloodbath of a matchup between Arkansas and Auburn. That game will tip off in a couple minutes from now. So a lot of great basketball going on throughout the night. We'll keep you guys posted here. Oh man, sorry to hear about that, Bryce. I saw the comments that you left me about that. Tristan, welcome in. Hunter, welcome to the stream. Do I think Oklahoma State is in either way? I think they're going to have to beat Texas in this game, because potential bid stealers, especially if UNC wins the ACC. Also, if Villanova comes out and wins the Big East. So I would say just in case, it will be best to win this game. You win this game, you most likely put yourselves in the bracket if you're Oklahoma State. Right now, Joe Lunardi has Oklahoma State 1 above Rutgers at the moment. Rutgers knocking out Michigan of the bracket today. So Michigan's out, Wisconsin's out. And there's a couple of teams behind that have to do work. Arizona State in that column. Arizona State needs to do work. Utah State, Nevada in a tie game as I speak against San Jose State. Clemson, another team. I believe they take on the NC State, which NC State destroyed Virginia Tech last night. Yeah, I saw the Providence game early. That was a big woof. Good comeback for Providence. Fell short, though, against a UConn team that's playing absolutely elite right now. Nobody's going to want to face UConn in the bracket, especially the deeper they go, because UConn looks incredibly elite right now for them. Providence could have put themselves in the play-in game if there's bid stealers. Providence on the last 4 buys. Wouldn't be shocked if it's Providence, Pitt, Penn State, and then somebody else in the play-in game. You got Providence versus Rutgers in the play-in game versus Pitt versus Penn State. That could be the play-in game right there. All right, so we're going to tip off in just a moment. Oklahoma State, black uniforms, white numbers, white letters, orange outline for this matchup. Big game for the Cowboys as they are on the bubble. Texas with the white uniforms for this matchup. Orange letters, orange numbers for the Longhorns. Left to right in the floor for Texas, and right to left in the floor for Oklahoma State. Do you think Texas could reach the Final Four? If they can get consistency, they potentially could for Texas. I think the big key for them is finding that consistency in the offense, for their offensive consistency. That's the big key. Texas has the guards in this matchup. Undersized type of team. They got crushed in the glass this season. Jumper, the baseline, missed off the mark by Jabari Rice, number 10. He drew the start tonight, usually the 6th man coming off the bench for Texas this season. Loose ball. And looks like we have a tie-up on the floor, jump ball won by Texas, so it'll stay Longhorns possession, 21 seconds in. What's good, Ron? Dominic McCrowd, welcome to the stream. Yeah, San Diego State might be the most overrated 5 or 6 seed you'll ever see, or in my recent memory. I feel like they're going to be the most overrated 5 or 6 seed in that I can remember. Runner is good. Drops down by Dylan Dessou to start things off for Texas. John Michael Wright, Caleb Asbury drawing the start with Tyreek Smith, Musa Cisse, Bryce Thompson starting 5 for Oklahoma State. Texas starters Dylan Dessou, Tyrese Hunter, Marcus Carr, Jabari Rice, and Dylan Mitchell. Driving underneath the hoop, blocked by Dessou, and here goes Texas. They lost it, though. Oklahoma State has it. Bounce pass down low, and they draw the shooting foul. So Musa Cisse will head to the free throw line, shoot 2, 1 minute through. Yes, I plan on streaming the game after this one, TCU against K-State. Big update for TCU. They're without Eddie Lampkin tonight, and for the rest of the Big 12 tournament, Eddie Lampkin stepping away from the program for the Big 12 tournament. According to articles yesterday, I guess him and head coach Jamie Dixon, there was something via social media that Eddie Lampkin didn't take well via social media and like messages from his head coach. So Eddie Lampkin will not be playing tonight and will not be playing for the remainder of the Big 12 tournament, and who knows about March Madness. 1 for 2 at the free throw line for Musa Cisse for Oklahoma State. So we're a minute 15 through the game, 18:45 left to go in the first. Texas with their second possession. Carr dribbles up, drives inside the key. Carr up fake, puts it up, and he draws the foul. So Marcus Carr will head to the free throw line, coming up shooting 2 for Texas. Daniel, welcome in. Thanks so much for joining in, man. Two shots here by Texas by Carr. First one missed off the back rim. Two straight wins in a row for Oklahoma State. They came into the end of the season, though, fluttering. They had lost 5 straight from February 14th to February 17th against top-tier teams in the Big 12. Losses against Kansas, TCU, West Virginia, K-State, and Baylor all in a row. And then winning against the bottom 2 teams in the conference, Texas Tech, in the regular season finale by 3-1 against Oklahoma to get here last night, 57-49 in the defensive slugfest. 2-1 as Carr missed the second free throw. Cowboys have possession. This could be another defensive battle tonight. At the key, jumper, mid-range, high arcing, missed off the front rim by Bryce Thompson. Offensive rebound for the Cowboys. Putback's good. Up and in off the glass by Tyreek Smith. And that's the key for this matchup that Oklahoma State has. They are pretty good on the glass this season. Best shot blocking team in the Big 12 because of Musa Cisse at the top of the conference in blocks per game. But their backcourt's going to have to compete with the Texas backcourt. Tyrese Hunter splashes down the 3 from the right wing. And Hunter, the transfer from Iowa State, he has been on a roll as of late. Texas, more known for their backcourts. Oklahoma State got an explosive front court right there. That's a two-handed throwdown by Musa Cisse inside the key. Big response right back. Explosive by Cisse coming off a 11-board game last night. 8 points, 2 blocks against Oklahoma. 17:20 left to go in the first. Texas with a possession. Baseline drive and tough take scores. Up and in off the glass by Tyrese Hunter. Back-to-back buckets by Hunter now for Texas to take the 2-point lead. John Michael Wright. Edge of the midcourt logo. Passes out to his right at the Phillips 66 logo at the right wing for the Cowboys as they dribble towards their left around the perimeter. And Sir'Jabari Rice picks up the reach and follow. What's good, Patrick? Welcome in. Thanks so much for joining in, man. Inbound goes to Oklahoma State. 3 minutes through so far with under 17 left to go in the first. Runner missed to the left of the rim, went out of bounds, and it's an air ball by the Cowboys. Turnover for Oklahoma State. Couple other games just tipped off at the same time as us. UNC early lead over Virginia 5-2. DePaul leading Xavier right now 8-5. Both of those teams, Virginia and Xavier, have key players injured. Out for the rest of the season. Xavier with Zach Fremantle, Virginia with Ben Vanderplas. Nevada only up by 3 against San Jose State. Nevada needs to win that one to make the bracket. Missed 3 at the wing by Sir'Jabari Rice. And Oklahoma State comes out with a defensive rebound. Cowboys take a pass midcourt. Bryce Thompson, bounce pass out to the right wing. Number 51, John Michael Wright, sends a cross court to Cisse. Cisse, top of the free throw circle. Gives it out to his right to Tyreek Smith. Handoff. And that will be knocked out of bounds as the whistle blows. Texas last touch that basketball, so Oklahoma State will get the inbound. 16:04 left to go in the first. Cowboys will get the inbound underneath their hoop. Michael Wright looking to pass it. He's defended by Hunter. Michael Wright, inbound to the wing. Caught by Caleb Asbury. Asbury dribbles inside the key. Asbury up fake. Tough shot. Too tall off the glass and picked up in the corner by Texas by Sir'Jabari Rice. Carr, pass midcourt. Carr, dribble, swings it out to the wing. Catch and fire. 3. Swoosh. That's good by Tyrese Hunter. He has cemented himself so far as a top player in this game through the first 4+ minutes. Tyrese Hunter, 8 of the 10 points through him single-handedly, outscoring his opponent. 15:30 left to go in the first. Oklahoma State not known for their offense. They ranked number 9 out of 10 teams in the Big 12 in scoring this season. Spin move inside the key. Too tall off the glass. Missed by Tyreek Smith, with Texas coming down with a defensive rebound. And Texas hanging in right with the glass. 4-4 on board so far. Tie game on the rebound. Missed jumper mid-range by Texas. Goes right back to Oklahoma State. Yeah, that'll be quite the interesting thing to see DePaul with a Cinderella run. I think it's that they're running into teams at the right time. They get the bracket right for them with teams that's had injuries. Seton Hall had a player injured as well. Texas couldn't finish with a layup by Sir'Jabari Rice. That's not elite scoring level right there. Wide open at the rim off the dribble drive coast to coast and couldn't finish. At the corner, Rice able to collect it as he comes out with a defensive rebound. We'll see here if Texas can redeem themselves this possession. Hunter makes the pass out to his left to Rice. Rice at the left wing perimeter. 14.5 left to go. Well, passing to a cutter off the fingertips of Hunter. It's a turnover. Texas should be up right now, 14-5. Timeout on the floor taken as we head to the first media timeout of the game. Missed layup by Texas. Wide open pass off the fingertips underneath the Hunter from Sir'Jabari Rice. Went out of bounds a little bit too wide to his left. And that's back-to-back misses from point-blank range that should have been buckets. Yeah, their offense is a grind. They're without, I believe, he's the number 2 scorer. Avery Anderson got injured a couple weeks ago, so they're without one of their key players for Oklahoma State. They're just trying to limp their way into the bracket. If they win this one, they should be in for Oklahoma State because this is a win over a 2 seed. But Texas right now, only up by 5, 14-22 left to go. It's the defense for Oklahoma State that will have to keep them in all game long. Yeah, wouldn't be shocked if Rick Pitino is the one that coaches at Georgetown for next year. So Patrick Ewing, fired from Georgetown around an hour ago. Yep. UNC Virginia. That game's going on as I speak, and it's a low-scoring game there. 5-2, North Carolina, Virginia, just 2 points in the first 5.5 minutes. That is upset written all over it. Whoever plays Virginia in the first round, like at this point, honestly, I'd take Yale in the first round if they played Virginia. If Virginia loses today, they're in the 5 seed column, and there are so many 12 seeds that's gonna come out of the bracket look like they can pick up W's. Oral Roberts, Drake, Toledo or Kent State, whoever wins the MAC. That's who's probably matched up with Virginia. Toledo. You got to have firepower to keep with Toledo. Toledo hung up a 90 burger on the board today. That's going to be a nightmare for Virginia. That has Ohio versus Georgetown from like the early 2010s written all over it. Dayton avoids a big U, beats St. Joe's. Yeah, whoever wins the A-10 is going to be the 12 seed. And if Dayton wins the A-10, they have a good chance to knock down a 5 if it's St. Mary's, if St. Mary's didn't drop back to the 6. So some of these like 5-6 teams are, I don't know what they're doing right now. The teams on like the 4, 5, 6 line. Arkansas leading Auburn 10-4. Penn State trying to sweep Illinois. Penn State perfect 2-0 this season against Illinois. Right now, Penn State leads 29-24. That's an Illinois team that does not know how to lock down the perimeter. They cannot defend the 3. They cannot make the 3. Nevada, San Jose State, 59-59. If that doesn't say what it needs to say about the Mountain West, I don't know what else to tell you. Nevada in a tie game against San Jose State with about 4 minutes left to go. And Florida Atlantic leading Western Kentucky right now 28-20. Poor Florida Atlantic's going to get thrown in probably like the 10-7 game or the 8-9 game, unfortunately, for Florida Atlantic because they overplayed their expectations like it's the equivalent of like Murray State or San Francisco from last year. They'll get thrown into that type of 10-7, 8-9 game that has to face a 1 or a 2 in the second round. Turnover by Oklahoma State as we get back to action. Sloppy game so far. It's been a defensive battle, but Texas should be up by more. They turned over the basketball in their last possession, had a point-blank area to score behind the defense as Oklahoma State wasn't back underneath the hoop. Out to the wing, Brock Cunningham, first time today. Bounce pass over to Bishop. Tougher shot than usual. What was that? Christian Bishop, fall away to his left, and he put it off the top of the backboard. Made it just so much more difficult than it should have looked to became. Bryce Thompson swings it out to the corner for Oklahoma State. Into the hands to Woody Newton. Now at the top of the key, number 5, Caleb Asbury. Pass out to his right to John Michael Wright. Dribbles up to the top. Wright moves it out to his right. Asbury. Lob. And that is a foul by Texas. There was contact on the shots. So the ball ended up being an air ball. John Michael Wright, or Caleb Asbury, number 5, leaning into contact by Tyrese Hunter. And this will be three shots coming up at the line. So 3 shots coming up at the line and a clear air ball. He leaned into contact. 87% free throw shooter gets the bounce in the first one. It's a major possession to get Oklahoma State back in the game. Texas on a 2-minute plus scoring drought. Oklahoma State yet to make a field goal in the last 4 minutes. Second free throw is good as well. This is not the guy you want to go to the free throw line if you're Texas already. 2 for 2. He'll have one more coming up by Caleb Asbury, and he drills all 3 of them. Yes, I think Mississippi State will be in. Yeah, they'll probably get like 11 or 10 seed for Mississippi State. They've been playing well lately, but they barely squeaked by Florida. Florida was without Colin Castleton today. That's concerning. That team's got a really good defense. They just got no offense for them. And Texas will head to the free throw line, down low, able to draw the foul. Wow, that North Carolina-Virginia game, the score is 5-3, UNC. 6 minutes into action, approaching 14 minutes left to go in the first there. First free throw good by Texas. Second free throw, Christian Bishop, as he missed it. No good. Spun around and out. Approaching the 13-minute mark left to go here. Cowboys with their possession. Bryce Thompson pass on top to Woody Newton. Lob down low into the hands of Caleb Boone. Puts it up and over the rim. No good. Tipped up and battle for the rebound. Hardwood on the ground, and it will go to Brock Cunningham. Great hustle there for number 30 of Texas. Longhorns have it with under 13 minutes left to go in the first. Arterio Morris. Pass off to Rice, back into the hands to Morris at the top. Morris dribbles up. Step back jumper deep two. And he airballs it. So first shot attempt of the conference tournament for the freshman. Arterio Morris airballs a step back jumper from 18 feet straight away. Tough game so far. Both of these teams just haven't been able to settle in. 12.5 left to go in the first. The winner of this game will take on the winner of TCU versus K-State later tonight. So I'll be covering that one as well. Tip-off will be around 9:30 p.m. later tonight. Woody Newton swings it on top over to Caleb Boone. Towards his left, hands it off to Quine Williams, number 13, first time into the game. He attacks inside the paint. Williams passes out to the right corner. There's contact in the 3, and another foul call picked up by Texas. Second personal foul of the game by Texas on a 3-point shot attempt, and we're not even 8 minutes into action. 3 more free throws coming up at the line for Oklahoma State. What is this right now? Texas, according to Lunardi, has Vermont in the first rounds. I mean, Vermont's had a down season compared to previous years. If you get the Vermont team from last year, I'd say watch out, but Vermont's had a down year this year. Should be able to win that game, but thing about Vermont's that team's usually a high IQ type of team that doesn't turn over the ball often for them. And we haven't seen too many high IQ type of plays so far to start off this game right now. 2 fouls from 3-point range. That's concerning for Texas currently. Third free throw. It's all good at the line for Oklahoma State. Imagine not making a field goal for over 5.5 minutes, and you've tied up the game at 11. That's the case right now. Oklahoma State 7 for 8 at the free throw line. Texas with the ball, 12 minutes left to play in the first. Bounce pass top of the key, Serge-Jabari Rice. Moves it out to his right to Cunningham. Hand off Rice, up fake at the wing. Rice takes the 3 off the screen. No good, skipped around and out. And a defensive rebound pulled down by Caleb Boone. And a reach and fall in the backcourt picked up by Brock Cunningham. Brock Cunningham with a terrible IQ, personal foul, reaching in as Oklahoma State properly secured a defensive rebound, and then a second later just goes into the backcourt and fouls Caleb Boone when he had already secured and came down with a basketball. Media timeout on the floor, 11-11. in the first half. 11:50 left to go in the first. Wow. This has been a rough game so far with a lot of mistakes on both of the ends. This looks like a game that I see that's being played in November right now. This is not high execution. And this is shocking because this is Big 12 basketball right here. This is the Big 12 tournament. This is not high execution. Like, I'm going to say this. Whoever gets Colgate, look out. Because Texas, if they lose this game, they could potentially drop to a 3 for them, which is shocking because they were playing for a 1 entering that game a couple weeks ago when they lost against Baylor. But Colgate might be a 14, they might be a 15, but that's the team that 4 years in a row in the tournament just hasn't been able to, or 3 years in a row now, looking for their 4th coming up, hasn't been able to get over the hump, but they've been playing teams close. That's the thing. This is shocking for this type of start. I can't even say that it's like a great defensive type of game so far because there's been missed shots from point blank range. There's been bad fouls. That's how Oklahoma State's got 7 out of the 11 points in the scoreboard so far. UNC leading Virginia 11-7 midway through the first. DePaul up over Xavier 23-14. Man, does that team have upset written all over it in the tournament? So many teams do. Man, Xavier is going to be a 5 seed. You don't want to see any of the 12s. Drake, Oral Roberts. You don't want to see any of those 12 seeds. And Xavier's got ranked the 330th worst defense in college basketball. Right now, just limited to 14 points against DePaul. Nevada flailing to be in the tournament, 65-63. San Jose State with a 2-point lead with 33 seconds. We'll keep you guys posted on that score. Oregon might not even make it into the next round of the Pac-12 tournament. 66-65. Washington State leading Oregon with under 5 minutes left to play. Florida Atlantic doing their part, 30-20 up over Western Kentucky. Penn State with a halftime lead over Illinois, 31-30. And Arkansas leading Auburn, 22-16. These teams are making it much more harder on themselves than it should be. We get back to action. 11:45 left to go in the first. Oklahoma State with a possession. They've scored 7 out of their 11 points at the free throw line. 2 of those trips at the free throw line, they were a perfect 3 for 3. Texas already with 2 falls from the perimeter. Top of the key, it's Woody Newton. Newton with 11.5 left to go. 8 on the shot clock. Newton, handoff. John Michael Wright at the top. 3 in the shot clock. Takes the 3. Off the rim, though. Good, and the rebound controlled by Dylan Mitchell of Texas. At the wing with Tyrese Hunter. Hunter passes on top over to Mitchell. Mitchell hands it off to Marcus Carr. Carr, free throw circle. Bounce past Mitchell. Backs his way. Inside a key. Up fake Mitchell. Tough shot. Missed off the glass. And a defensive rebound hauled in by Caleb Boone. 11 minutes left to go in the first. Yeah, I can see probably it's going to be the 11s for the playing game. They'll probably do 2 11-seed playing games. Oklahoma State cannot make a 3. 0 for 3 from the perimeters. They miss wide from the left wing. Update here on Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant expected to miss 2 to 3 weeks for an ankle injury. 10:38 left to go. Missed 3 by Texas. Tapped out of bounds. It will be Oklahoma State ball. And Timmy Allen, by the way, tonight for Texas. He is out tonight in this game. He's been one of the key players this season for Texas. He is out tonight for the Longhorns due to injury. So Timmy Allen out tonight in this game. Wow, thanks so much for the update there, Alex. So San Jose State and Nevada going into overtime. Not a good look for Nevada to open up the Mountain West tournament for them. Open three at the top, and Oklahoma State missed another one off the back rim. A rebound controlled by Dylan Mitchell of Texas. Texas with a possession. Hunter passes out to the corner. Three in the air. Carr missed off the front rim. And here goes the Cowboys with a defensive rebound with John Michael Wright. Michael Wright at the wing. Passes over to Caleb Boone. Boone passes off to a cutter. Oh, nice dump off. Musa Cisse couldn't finish at the rim, but he draws the blocking foul. Cisse will shoot two coming up at the free throw line with 10 minutes left to go in the first. Oklahoma State has the chance to take the lead. They've scored 7 of 11 points so far at the free throw line. Oklahoma State, 2 of 12 shooting with 10 minutes left to play in the first. This game is on pace for 22 even going into halftime. A dreadful matchup here to start off the Big 12 tournament quarterfinals for the Texas Longhorns in their first game. Oklahoma State coming off a bloodbath victory over Oklahoma yesterday in a defensive, gritty type of matchup, 57-49. First one's good by the Cowboys. Second shot here for Oklahoma State, and it's good as well. Musa Cisse sinks them both through. Ten minutes left to go. Oklahoma State 9 for 10 at the free throw line. Texas without Timmy Allen tonight, so they are shorthanded. Tyrese Hunter, 2 personal fouls. He scored 8 of the 11 points for Texas. He is currently in the bench. Texas gets a pass midcourt. Serge Rice into the hands to Marcus Carr. Arterio Morris on the floor in place of Tyrese Hunter currently. Cunningham moves on top. Dessou up fake. Backs his way inside a key. Dessou jumper mid-range, and he gets called in the travel. Nothing can go Texas's way. Honestly, this might be the 2 seed that loses to a 15. Terrible start for Texas. Oklahoma State's leading this game right now, shooting just 17% from the floor. Oklahoma State, 9 of their 13 points scored at the free throw line. 9:30 left to go in the first. Oklahoma State in an 8-plus minute scoring drought, yet they have the lead. Both of these teams look like they're going to run. I cannot believe I'm saying this right now, but both of these teams in the tournament-style game, if they keep it up, they're going to get run off the floor by an ACC team. This ACC plays super fast, and once you get into the tournament, it's just tough to contain that. Despite the ACC struggles this season. I would have never imagined myself saying that back in December. But here we are, fast forward to March, and offensive foul called in Oklahoma State. Musa Cisse pushing off. Texas in a 6.5 minute scoring drought. They should have at least 14 on the board. They missed 2 buckets wide open down low. Marcus Carr, edge of the midcourt logo. Carr now at the wing, moves on top to Serge Rice. Texas 2 of 6 from 3. Rice drives, got rejected by the bottom part of the backboard. He did get fouled though from behind. So 2 shots coming up at the free throw line for Serge Rice with 8:58 left to play in the first. Joe, welcome in. Yeah, this is just so rough right now. First one's good by Serge Rice. We got 25 combined points. Could be 26 here at the line, and it is. Almost half of those points coming from the free throw line right now. So 12 of the 26 have been scored combined at the free throw line. Oklahoma State's made 9 free throws. Texas has now made 3. 9 minutes left to go. 13 all. On snail's pace in this game. Cowboys move it out to the top. Bryce Thompson. Caleb Asbury back over to Thompson downhill, and that will be an offensive foul picked up by Thompson. Runs right over a Texas defender as Texas takes the charge. It's a turnover by Oklahoma State. 5th turnover of the game by the Cowboys. Man, this has just been brutal to watch so far. 8:40 left to play in the first. Back and forth with missed shots and missed turnovers. Dylan DeSue, top of the key. Texas without Timmy Allen tonight in this game. Lob down low to DeSue. DeSue at the low block, backs his way. DeSue pivot into the key, turn around, puts it up, and he scores. So finally, able to get something on the board. DeSue for 2, Texas. Able to get back on the right track as they are able to overcome that scoring drought. Oklahoma State floats up a runner. That will drop through for 2 by Bryce Thompson. 15 even. So finally the scoring starting to pick up with 8 minutes left to go in the first. Texas with the ball. Brock Cunningham at the wing. Moves on top to Arterio Morris. Pass out to his right around the perimeter. Dylan DeSue. Handoff to Serge Jabari. Rice gives it out to the elbow. Up fake DeSue. Pro hop inside the key. DeSue powers his way for 2. Dylan DeSue taking charge of this game right now. Back-to-back baskets for him. And here's a steal far side of the floor. Morris attacks right to the paint. Missed the first one. Gets it back, though. Scores off the putback. 19-15 Texas, Oklahoma State. Finding themselves down by 4. Seems like they're down by a mile with this type of game. 7.5 left to go in the first. Cowboys have it at the Big 12 logo. 6 total turnovers by Oklahoma State. Just 3 by Texas. Asbury lobs it out to the left wing, and they lost it again. Turnover number 7. Texas with a 4-on-2. The pass downhill right to the rim. Morris couldn't score. Morris from point-blank range, and Texas now has missed 3 shots, all at the rim uncontested in this game. 7 minutes left to go in the first. Oklahoma State with it far side of the floor, and we have another turnover. Pushing off around the perimeter by Oklahoma State. That is back-to-back turnovers. 8 total turnovers with under 7 left to go in the first by Oklahoma State. Texas with just 3. Media timeout on the floor right now. Sloppy game, 19-15. All right, if you guys are new in the stream, make sure to hit the thumbs up, spike the like, hit the subscribe. I did not expect this game to go this poorly right now. Both of these teams are just not executing whatsoever. Oklahoma State, 3 turnovers in the last minute and 10 seconds. 5 turnovers in the previous 3 minutes for the Cowboys. Right now, they're not looking the part of a tournament team, and that's concerning for Oklahoma State. According to Joe Lunardi, he's got Oklahoma State in the last 4 in currently for Oklahoma State. Penn State, Oklahoma State, Rutgers, and Utah State. That's the last 4 teams in at the moment. Of course, we'll see if there's any bid thieves going into the bracket. No, I'm covering both of the Big 12 games for tomorrow. Oh, by the way, Virginia just took the lead against North Carolina, 23-15 with 4 minutes left to play, as North Carolina's offense has just gone on a standstill right now. So North Carolina needs to win that game in order to get into the tournament. Nevada in overtime against San Jose State. San Jose State leads 69-67 with 3 minutes left to go. That's why the definition of the Mountain West comes up in the bracket. The definition will be 0-3 if they even get 3 teams in the tournament, or how many. It doesn't look like they're going to win much. DePaul leading Xavier 36-24. DePaul already beat Xavier this season. Yikes. Florida Atlantic looking good. They lead Western Kentucky 38-20. Arkansas up over Auburn 26-20. Penn State leading Illinois at half 31-30. And Oregon in a tie game against Washington State 70-70 currently. Those are some of the games going on. Red Wings fan, welcome in. Yeah, I think it would be tough for Middle Tennessee to come out of that bracket out in CUSA. If Middle Tennessee State does, Michigan State wouldn't be matched up against them. Middle Tennessee State would probably be either a 12 or a 13. Michigan State's probably going to be either, they're varying in range, probably a 5, 6, or 7 for them. But I expect out of that tournament either Florida Atlantic, North Texas, or UAB. Those are the 3 teams out of that tournament. I'd be stunned if Middle Tennessee wins the conference tournament. All you know is that Miami-Duke game, that's more significant than people think, I feel like. The rematch when Duke got crushed in the last matchup against Miami, and both of those teams are playing for 4 or 5 seed lines. If Miami loses, they're probably going to drop back to the 5 seed. If Duke loses, they'll be in the 5 seed line, but if Duke wins, they'll be moving upwards to the 5. And vice versa if Miami wins. So that's a huge matchup because the 12s, they look strong. The 13s look a little weaker, but you don't want to play a 12. That's all I have to say there. You don't want to play a 12, and we already know 1 5 seed most likely. I think Xavier is going to be a 5 seed. Book it. Without Zach Freemantle, that's concerning for Xavier. Texas with a quick bucket back from a timeout. 6-point lead. Jumper off the glass, and that's good by Oklahoma State. So finally, it took both of these teams around 12 and a half minutes to get settled in and score buckets. Bryce Thompson got the bucket for Oklahoma State. Serge Jabari Rice, low block, got stripped, loose ball, knocked out of bounds, last touch by the Cowboys. Yeah, I think Xavier is the one who gets Oral Roberts. They could be the one that gets Oral Roberts in the bracket. And that is not looking so hot. Inbound, jumper, baseline, missed off the rim. Offensive rebound to Sue. Puts it up, puts it in for 2. Or they usually do it by geographic ranges, so I wouldn't be shocked if Xavier draws Toledo. Either one. That's a fire matchup. Both of those teams can score, and it's got no defense. First to 100. First to 100 in both of those games. Xavier versus Toledo, Xavier versus Oral Roberts. And that's if Toledo wins their conference. They'd have to get past Kent State, which Kent State played 2 close games against Houston and Gonzaga. Woof. Nevada not in the bracket, yeah. Yeah, I didn't think they were a tournament team. You can put them in the NIT. They should not be in the tournament after losing against San Jose State. Against San Jose State twice now. That would be twice within the last 3 weeks. They would lose to San Jose State. (23-19), 5.5 left to go. Texas with a possession, left wing perimeter. Serge Jabari Rice moves it out to his right over to Marcus Carr. Carr at the mid block, back out on top. Rice takes the 3. Off the front rim, no good. He was great in the last game on Saturday. Offensive rebound, though, punching it through. Dylan DeSue for 2. DeSue giving Texas now explosiveness at the rim, and they are helping out, contending on the glass in this game. And for a team that struggled throughout the course of the season on the rebounding advantage, this is a great, great sign for Texas to be on the boards in this game. Here's a steal by Texas. They got numbers, a 2-on-1 right to the rim. Carr. And he gets fouled. Marcus Carr to the free throw line, shooting 2, 5 minutes even on the clock. Yeah, definitely. Also, I forgot to throw out there Drake. Drake, too. I saw a graphic that said that Drake has 5 players. Drake has their starting 5. The average age of their starting 5 is older than 5 NBA lineups for that Drake team. I believe they got 2 players in the starting 5 that's age 25. A player that's age 24, and then the coach's son is age 20. That's crazy. They got 2 players in the starting 5 for Drake that's 2 years younger than me. And I graduated college 6 years ago. Like, that's wild. Like, I'm 27. They got guys in their team that's 25 and still playing. And, yeah, that's not the typical tournament team either. I remember last year with Richmond winning in the first round. Under 5 minutes left to go in the first. 10 points off turnovers so far, scored by Texas. Oklahoma State in trouble, largest deficit, down by 8. This team has been at the bottom of the conference in scoring this season. Couldn't even score 60 last night, but they still won because of their defense. Put back chance, no good. Tipped off the glass by Christian Bishop, and Texas comes down with it. Longhorns bringing the energy and the firepower as they try to come up with a 3. They missed it off the front rim, tried to stay in bounds, and Oklahoma State did not. Musa Cisse, all you had to do was just let the basketball roll out of bounds. He tried to go up for the rebound. Stepped on the baseline, tried to save it when it was touched by the Longhorns before that either way. 4:22 left to go in the first. So we'll take the timeout on the floor. Media timeout, or it's going to be Oklahoma State timeout of action. Yeah, Charleston's going to be a 12 because of their record for Charleston. Good record by Charleston. They just haven't been able to play like solid teams, so I don't know what to expect there. I feel like they fall into the category of like last year's Vermont team, or last year's Oklahoma, or last year's South Dakota State team for that Charleston team, because they just breezed by everybody. But like, the big question is, who did they play? That's the thing for that team. So they're going to get a 12 probably, whereas if Drake gets a 13, then great for Drake, because they're playing more with a chip on their shoulder, because they should be a 12 coming out of the Missouri Valley. I mean, that's odd to see a Missouri Valley team being seeded a 13, whereas like you got like a Colonial team seeded a 12 in that conference, where it wasn't really top heavy in that conference. Hofstra and UNC Wilmington, and then after that, it was just all over the place. Derek, welcome in. Thanks so much for stopping by, man. Couple upsets we got going on right now. DePaul leading Xavier 39-31 with under 4 minutes left to play in the first. Virginia in a tight game against UNC, 25-24 Virginia with 13 seconds left to go before halftime. This has been just a rock fight tonight in this game. At one point, we were midway to having 22 points total going into half. It was tied up 11-11 with 10 minutes left to go before halftime. But Texas getting onto a run, whereas Oklahoma State's been stone cold in this game tonight. Oklahoma State just 4 of 16 shooting, 0 for 4 from 3. They've scored 11 out of their 19 points at the free throw line. And Texas without Timmy Allen in this matchup, and they're starting to pull away, which is a really bad sign right now for Oklahoma State. Michigan will probably get the 1 seed in the NIT. Yeah, either a 1 or a 2 for Michigan. Nevada's almost done. Can't count them out just yet, though. 77-75, San Jose State. If San Jose State holds on, they will pull off a big upset over Nevada. Nevada will be knocked out of the bracket. 18 seconds remaining. We'll keep you posted. As I just spoke, San Jose State just scored. 12 seconds left to go. 79-75. San Jose State up by 2 possessions with 12 seconds left. Florida Atlantic manhandling Western Kentucky 44-23. Dennis, welcome in, man. 4:22 left to go in the first. If you guys are back into the stream, make sure to hit the thumbs up, spike the like, hit the subscribe. We come out of the timeout. Texas gets the inbound. Open three at the wing. Off the inbound, but it missed rim short by Jabari Rice of Texas. Pass deflected and intercepted right back by Jabari Rice. Rice dribbles up to the free throw circle. Dish out to the wing. Morris jacks up a three. Morris sinks it through for Texas as they take the first double-digit lead of tonight. 30-19, things starting to click for Texas. Oklahoma State in deep trouble right now. They're 9th out of 10th in the Big 12 in points scored per game. Nice move there to the bucket, though, for the Cowboys, able to get the layup to respond. Open at the corner was Rice. Gave up the pass to the wing. Three missed off the mark by Carr. Defensive rebound hauled in by Oklahoma State. Jabari Rice just not aggressive enough on that shot right there, as they will attack downhill inside the paint. Got the shot altered, missed by Bryce Thompson, and deflected out of bounds. Game clock will stop with 3:32. Yeah, things going well, man. Thanks so much for stopping by. Yeah, low-scoring game right there. Virginia leading at halftime by 1 over UNC 25-24. Nevada's going to need a miracle to come back from San Jose State. 3 seconds left to go. San Jose State leads 79-77. And the first free throw missed here at the line by Bryce Thompson of Oklahoma State. Keep on looking at that scoreboard any minute from now when that game goes final. Be one more team knocked out of the bracket. Second free throw skipped around the rim and out. Dylan DeSue comes up with a defensive rebound for Texas. Oklahoma State went empty that trip at the free throw line as we're under 3.5 minutes left to go in the first. Texas with the ball. They slow down tempo. Marcus Carr at the top. Pass out to his left to DeSue. Back out to the top to Carr. Carr moves it out to the left wing. Morris drives baseline. Finds Carr. Carr at the top. Up fake. Attacks inside the paint. And he missed it wide as he got the shot blocked at the rim by Oklahoma State. Cowboys the top shot blocking team in the Big 12 this season. 3 minutes left to go in the first. Bryce Thompson. Edge of the midcourt logo. They've made just 5 field goals. They've had 10 total turnovers in this first half for Oklahoma State. This has been a sloppy first half for the Cowboys. And they almost turned it over there. Skip pass to the wing, able to snatch it in time. Missed 3 off the back rim too long by Asbury. Tipped off the glass. And Texas comes up with a defensive rebound. Jabari Rice. Bounce pass down low to Sue. Tried to save it. Lost it though. Goes out of bounds. Turnover by Texas. Man, this has just been a tough game to watch tonight. Turnover city. 4th turnover to game by Texas, 10 by Oklahoma State tonight. 14 combined turnovers compared to 16 made shots. Yeah, that would be wild. I'd probably go Fordham there, but it wouldn't shock me. .220 left to go in the first. Oklahoma State with the ball. Top of the free throw circle, Tyreek Smith. Smith hands it off to Bryce Thompson. Thompson, 18-footer straight away. Tough contested shot, and DeSue pulls down the defensive rebound. Texas, extra pass made. Morris with a 3. Morris rattles in the 3. Texas by double digits once again. Nice pass up the floor there by Marcus Carr over to Arterio Morris. Down to 2 minutes left to go in the first. 10-2 run by Texas in the last 4 minutes plus. Oklahoma State nails in a chalkboard with this offense currently. Cowboys have it at the wing. Woody Newton drives at the mid-block, puts up the shot, banks it. Texas pass midcourt, Marcus Carr. Bounce pass out to the right wing, Brock Cunningham. Cunningham moves it out to the top. Carr, bounce pass left corner. Up fake, Jabari Rice, guarded by Caleb Asbury. Lobs it over to Cunningham. Nice in and out move there. Jabari Rice couldn't finish though. Snatched away in a defensive rebound by Tyreek Smith. Down the far side of the floor for Texas, Bryce Thompson moves it cross court over to Caleb Asbury. Inside the key, Asbury. Dump off, deflected. And they're intercepted by Texas. Coming out of the shoot right there, down the pack. Throwing it down. Right-handed finish, the freshman. able to exuberate the squad right now. That is Arterio Morris up to 10 points for Texas as he comes right out of the pack, shoots out like a cannon, and puts Texas with a 12-point lead. Coast to coast off the steal and the dunk by Morris. First one of double figures tonight for Texas. Arterio Morris, 10 points coming off the bench. This is a deep Longhorns team, and right now they are doing it, forcing turnovers in this game. Texas, 6 total steals in the first half as we're down to the final 45 seconds, and a 3 finally made for Oklahoma State. It's by Caleb Asbury. First 3 made of the game finally. Asbury's up to 11. 35 seconds left to go. Texas at the free throw circle. Brock Cunningham finally started to settle into this game, but the ball gets stolen away, and Cunningham knocks down an Oklahoma State player and gets called in the foul. And this will send the Cowboys to the bonus. Bad personal foul after he got stripped of the basketball by Brock. That should do it. San Jose State, 81-77 against Nevada. That should do it. It's got 3 seconds remaining. We'll update you when it does turn a final. But San Jose State making both of their free throws, going up by 4 with 3 seconds left. 1-1 here at the line for Oklahoma State, and he missed the free throw. Around the rim and out. Texas with the basketball. 25 seconds left to go before halftime. And the Longhorns will burn a timeout with 21.7. And that will do it. It is gone final. San Jose State 81, Nevada 77. Another team that gets swallowed tonight by the underdog in the brackets. Woof. Oregon barely getting by Washington State. Well, guess what? Arizona lost to both of those teams. If Colgate gets a 15 and plays against Arizona a 2, or if Arizona's a 3 and gets Colgate a 14, I really might consider it. I have to see how Arizona comes out of the Pac-12 tournament this week, because they do have size, but they've been careless with the basketball. A lot of turnovers. They love to play fast, but they turn it over a ton. And they're leaky from the perimeter. That's the problem. The perimeter defense has been exploited. And Colgate's the best perimeter shooting team in all college hoops, and they're due for one. It all depends on the matchup they get. They're due for one. It really depends on who they get, though. 13 seconds left to go before halftime. Inbound for Texas. Serge-Abari Rice receives it at the right wing, and we got a up and down violation. It's called on Serge-Abari Rice in the turnover. 3.6 seconds remaining. They've had some games that's like just like head scratching. So yeah, I don't believe that they're like a top team this year. The defense isn't as elite as last year, even though they still have like the same, like similar offensive numbers for them. The defense has taken a major step back this year. They also lost to Stanford too. All right, so we're going to halftime here. 35-26 the score. That was a rough first half to get through so far. Oklahoma State they're 33% shooting, but that number was way down to start off the game. 1 for 6 from 3 for Oklahoma State. The turnovers have just cost them. 11 turnovers in the first half. Texas handed the game early on to them. They were right in it with Texas throughout like the first 10 minutes. It was tied up at 11 at one point with 10 minutes even left to go. They had scored the first 7 on the 11 points at the free throw line. Oklahoma State's scored under half of their points at the free throw line right now. 11 of the 26 total. coming from the free throw line for Oklahoma State. But big key for Texas here without Timmy Allen tonight, and they're only -1 in the glass. This is a team that usually gets crushed on the rebounds, and right now it's just 19-18 Oklahoma State leading by 1 on the glass, which was their big advantage entering this game. Texas, they could be doing even better from the floor. They're shooting just 41% from the floor so far, but much better taking care of the basketball considering what Oklahoma State's done. And Texas has scored points off turnovers. That's been a huge difference, 15-1 in favor of Texas. What's good, Michael? Welcome to the stream. Thanks so much for joining in, man. We go to halftime right now. Make sure to feel free, if you guys would like to join the Behind the Arc Basketball Bracket Challenge group to be a part of the March Madness Tournament Challenge. If you guys would like, that link is posted in the chat out there if anybody's interested. And feel free to join in. Later tonight, I'll be covering Kansas State versus TCU. And hopefully that one will be a great matchup as well for the second Big 12 tournament quarterfinal match. The winner of this game will take on the winner of K-State versus TCU from the late night match tomorrow. I also plan on covering tomorrow the 2 Big 12 semifinal matchups. It'll be Kansas taking on Iowa State. Iowa State beat Baylor, so Iowa State sweeping Baylor during the season, 3-0 against Baylor for Iowa State. I thought they were done, but Iowa State reminding me that team is as physical as they can come, and they are not done for Iowa State. Just like I thought they were going to be last year, and they made it to the Sweet 16 for Iowa State. And so Kansas taking on Iowa State, and then the winner of this game and the winner of the next game will face each other. Wow, so Cal State Fullerton beating Hawaii. Wow. I saw a lot of people wanted Hawaii as like a dark horse team out in the Big West. I think it's UC Irvine, UC Santa Barbara, and then after that, it was Hawaii in terms of seeds. So let's go through the scoreboard. 49 in the first half. A big E right there. DePaul puts up over Xavier. Yikes. Let me check DePaul's offensive rating. That's a big yikes. Also, Xavier's defense has been terrible this year. Xavier could be the team that draws Toledo in the bracket due to proximity, too. Usually they do, like, games that's like proximity on the schedule in there. Just have to make sure they haven't played during the regular season. That's the problem, because they usually avoid regular season matchups. So that's why you won't see Mississippi State take on TCU for like an 11 versus 6 matchup in the tournament, probably, because those two teams played each other in the SEC Big 12 battle. Wow. Yeah, that's a making of a high-scoring game. DePaul's defense is ranked 343rd in points allowed. They give around 77 points per game they allow to opponents for DePaul. Their offense is like mid-pack in the nation. They average around 71. They're ranked 195 in the nation for their offense. So they're not even like an explosive offense. They're like a bottom to mid team in the Big East for offense. They're ranked number 7 in the conference in total offense this season for DePaul. They rack up 49 points going into half over Xavier. And for Xavier here, yeah, they never faced against Toledo yet. I'm shocked they didn't face against a MAC team because of their like proximity to like the MAC for Xavier this season. They face Morgan State, Montana, Fairfield, Southeast Louisiana State Southern, and Cincinnati. That was their non-conference schedule for teams. West Virginia, and then Duke, Gonzaga, Florida, Indiana for their non-conference schedule, like Power Fives. But yeah, for mid-majors, they didn't face a MAC school this year. And Xavier's defense is ranked 304th in the nation for them. 313th in perimeter D. Adjusted defense on KenPom, they're ranked 83rd, 7th for offense. Interested to see what DePaul's numbers are. DePaul's numbers are 140 for offense per KenPom. Wow. Wow, DePaul had a worse offensive efficiency than Queens NC in their first season, and Texas A&M Corpus Christi, who's in the bracket. So right now we're just at halftime. Illinois up over Penn State, 51-49. Arkansas leading Auburn, 37-33. So those are games that we got currently going on right now. Arkansas, Auburn right now at halftime as well, 37-33. Arkansas leading that game. Penn State, Illinois, close game. Around 10 minutes left to go. Penn State, another team on the bubble, as they lead by 2 over Illinois, 55-53. It will be a sweep for Penn State if they're able to win that game tonight over Illinois. Virginia starting to pull away over North Carolina right now. 35-27 Virginia with under 17 minutes left to go. So North Carolina fighting for their lives in the NCAA tournament for the preseason number 1. If you guys are new in the stream, make sure to hit the thumbs up, spike the like, hit the subscribe here. Appreciate all for joining in tonight. Hey, what's good? Ice Ice Baby, welcome in. Thanks so much for joining in right now at halftime. It's been a rough game in that first half, a lot of turnovers. Both of the teams missing a lot at the rim. Texas started to get settled in, though, second portion of the first half. That's where they were in a tie game with 10 minutes left to go before halftime. The score was 11-11, and then Texas able to find their way, start to make their shots. Things went in their favor for Texas, and the big difference is that they've scored 15 points off Oklahoma State turnovers. Oklahoma State with 11 turnovers in half one. Arkansas just just started the second half against Auburn, 39-33. Arkansas will keep you guys posted. It's just so odd to see Arkansas and Auburn being matched up in the back of the SEC tournament. Both of them are Arkansas is the 10 seed, Auburn's the 7 seed in the SEC tournament. And both of those teams projected around like the 8, 9, or 10 seed line right now for the NCAA tournament. And how about this for a shock? DePaul racking up 49 points in the first half, leading Xavier 49-40. Virginia leading UNC 37-30. I'll be back later tonight as well, covering TCU against Kansas State. Hopefully another great matchup tipping off around 9:30 p.m. Other good matchups tonight include Creighton taking on Villanova. Villanova would have to win the Big East tournament title outright to make it to March Madness. Villanova's been hot, though, as of late. Creighton, the same case. A couple of Big East schools have been soaring up. UConn definitely has been one of those teams up on the rise as of late. Boise State, that's another team that needs a win, most likely to get them into the bracket. Joe Lunardi has Boise State in the first 4 byes with Providence, Pitt, Mississippi State, and those teams are ahead of Penn State, Oklahoma State, Rutgers, and Utah State. Minnesota and Maryland will play each other tonight at 9 p.m. Here's a good matchup. NC State taking on Clemson. Clemson just outside the top 25 for Clemson, so it's a big, big game. Clemson right below Michigan in front of Oregon on the cutout line. Oregon winning today, so they keep their NCAA tournament hopes alive for Oregon. Arizona State just outside the tournament bracket taking on USC. That game is a late game, 11:30 p.m. later tonight between those two, so that's another huge matchup. And also New Mexico, who was in the bracket a couple weeks ago, no longer to be found for New Mexico, but they'll take on Utah State later tonight. Utah State's right in the play-in game as well. So here we go. Second half of basketball action about to begin. Oklahoma State will take a three. John Michael Wright missed off around the rim and out, and a defensive rebound hauled in by Texas. Right to left on the floor for Texas to start off half number 2, leading by 9. Top of the key, Dylan DeSue. Texas without Timmy Allen tonight. He is day-to-day due to an injury. At the top with Sir-Jabari Rice. Moves over to DeSue, handoff Rice. Rice settles for the 3, straight away, rattles in. And he took over on Saturday for Sir-Jabari Rice. He's got NCAA tournament experience from New Mexico State. Great start here for Texas to open up half 2. Top of the key with Tyreek Smith. Handoff towards his left around the perimeter, off to Caleb Asbury around the screen. Shoots the 3, missed off the back rim. Nice tap out from Smith over to Thompson. Thompson with a 3, skipped around the rim and out. And a defensive board hauled in by Texas. Jabari Rice up the floor. Sir dribbles, drives, an illegal screen set. Or was it? As we have Dylan DeSue going down, and actually this will be on the Cowboys. So Oklahoma State picks up the foul. Bryce Thompson ramming right into Dylan DeSue and knocked down Dylan DeSue trying to get around his screener. 18:45 left to go in the second. Texas by 12 looking to add to it. Rice at the wing. Pick set by Dylan Mitchell. Rice towards his right. Bounce pass off the roll down. Dylan Mitchell throws it down with a two-handed flush off the pick and roll. 40-26 right now. Texas is rolling. 5-zip run by the Horns in the first minute and a half to start off the second half. Cowboys in trouble. Their bubble hopes fading away. It's going to be tough to make the tournament with an 18-15 record for Oklahoma State, no matter how good your conference is. Dylan DeSue coming up with a major block. Now they will call it not clean, so it will be a blocking foul with 2 free throws coming up by the Cowboys. Largest lead of the game right here, right now for Texas, up by 14. 18-17 left to go in the second. 2 free throws at the line now for Bryce Thompson for Oklahoma State. First shot, and no good. Missed off the rim and out. Second free throw. Again missed off the front rim. Dylan DeSue comes out with a defensive board. 0 for 2 that trip at the free time for Oklahoma State. They've had opportunities. They are 11 for 17, though, just 65% at the free throw line. Texas with the ball. Right wing perimeter. Dylan Mitchell. Mitchell dribbles up to the elbow and draws the reach and fall picked up by Oklahoma State. Clock will stop with 18 minutes. Texas gets the inbound corner 3. That's good. Jumper by Sir-Jabari Rice. They'll call it a deep 2. His foot was on the 3-point line. 16-point lead. Largest one of the game by Texas right now as they are on a red-hot run. 7-0 run for the Horns to start off the second half in the first 2 minutes and 11 seconds, and a timeout taken on the floor by the Cowboys. What a start right now for Texas. Up by 16, and Oklahoma State just 1 for 9 from 3-point range. 29% shooting from the floor. 11 turnovers in the first half, leading to 15 points off of those turnovers scored by Texas. Their bubble hopes are just fading and fading and fading away right now for Oklahoma State. Quick scoreboard update. Penn State, Illinois. Penn State playing to survive and make the tournament. Illinois leading by 1, 56-55 with 7:30 left to go. Florida Atlantic manhandling Western Kentucky. And the CUSA quarters today, 72-40 down to the final 2 minutes. Virginia pulling away a little bit from North Carolina, 42-35 Virginia with 13:20 remaining. And here's the upset of the day in the first half. DePaul 49, Xavier 40 going into halftime. Arkansas pulling away from Auburn currently, 48-39 Hogs with a lead over Auburn. What's good, Ward? Welcome back in, man. A lot of great basketball action going on currently. Nevada most likely eliminated from the bracket. Bad loss in overtime today against San Jose State. Texas with 7 separate scores. Arterio Morris, the freshman, leading the way. 10 total points off the bench. Perfect 2 for 2 from 3. 9 points by Serge Jabari Rice. 8 points each by Tyrese Hunter and Dylan Dessou. Both of them perfect from the floor. Hunter started off with the first 8 of 10 points for Texas. He's got 8. Dylan Dessou's got 8. Marcus Carr held just 1 for 6 shooting from the floor by Carr. Only 4 points so far today. Great sign for Texas. They're +1 in the glass right now, 21-20. Feel free to be a part of the Behind the Arc Basketball Bracket Challenge group if you guys would like. That link is posted out there on the chat if you guys are interested. We got 17:50 left to go. Right now, we're just on a media timeout in Texas with their largest lead up by 16. Coming up after this, I'll be covering K-State versus TCU. That's a battle between the number 3 and number 6 seeds in the Big 12. Tip-off will be around 9:30 p.m. tonight. We get back to action. Oklahoma State gets the inbound in their backcourt with Bryce Thompson. Thompson hands it off to John Michael Wright, edge of the midcourt logo. Michael Wright passes to his right, bobble pass into the hands to Bryce Thompson. Gets fouled, though, around the perimeter by Carr. The clock will stop with 17:39. Far side of the floor for Oklahoma State as they get the inbound. John Michael Wright, dribble drive down the lane inside, called in the offensive foul. Texas with another charge taken inside the low post. John Michael Wright called in the foul. It's a turnover by Oklahoma State. West Virginia is expected to play against Illinois. That's a great game. According to Lunardi, West Virginia has made its way up to a 9 seed as of late. Honestly, I think West Virginia is better off being like an 11 seed for them because there's a lot of vulnerable 6 seeds out there. Jumper, turn around. Off the back rim, missed by Dessou, got knocked down and fouled though. Jerry Palma, CBS has, oh man, he's got West Virginia as a 10, playing Kentucky as a 7. Which Kentucky can keep on moving upwards. That seed line's definitely going to fluctuate this weekend for Kentucky. Worst nightmare for Providence is if Providence is the 11 seed and plays Kentucky. That's the worst nightmare. First shot good at the line for Dessou. Second one off the back rim in the corner. Rebound goes to Cisse for the Cowboys. Oklahoma State with the ball around the perimeter. John Michael Wright. Pass out to his right over to Bryce Thompson. Thompson mid-range, the Big 12 logo. Inside a key, missed off the rim. Dessou collects the defensive board. Here goes Texas. Under 17 minutes left to go. Texas at the top with Carr. Carr dribbles up to the elbow, rises for the jumper, missed off the rim, tipped up, and a rebound collected by Asbury. Hey, thanks so much for the update there, Ryan. So we got a couple games. One of them's a shocker there with that DePaul game. But Arkansas started to pull away, same as DePaul right now, and Virginia holding on to a 6-point lead, 42-36 over UNC. Michael Wright from the top. This team just cannot make a three for Oklahoma State. It's been Brick City out there for the Cowboys as their tournament chances are dwindling right now. Serge Jabari Rice, bounce pass, huge collision, and it's a turnover committed by Texas. Dylan Dessou colliding right into Tyreek Smith. Already thin in the front court tonight for Texas without Timmy Allen out for this game, listed day-to-day. Entering the Big 12 tournament for Timmy Allen, not playing tonight though. 16:07 left to go. Oklahoma State's got to go. They got to go. They have 0 points in the first 4 minutes of this second half. This offense is just a complete nails on chalkboard for Oklahoma State. Top of the key, Caleb Asbury. Oklahoma State almost had double the points on New Year's Day in their conference opener against Kansas to open up Big 12 play, but without Avery Anderson, their number 2 scorer, as he's missed the last couple weeks of action, they've been stolen the cold. They've lost their last 5 of 7 games for Oklahoma State. The only wins they picked up were against Texas Tech and Oklahoma. So they went all the way from being an 8 seed to now in the bubble picture in the play-in game and hovering around that area. We take the media timeout. 43-26 to score. So we have a media timeout taken on the floor. Texas by 17. Yep, Florida Atlantic. Great game for them to start off the bracket. Only wins against Texas Tech on Saturday, 71-68, as that team's off in the wrong direction. Mark Adams resigning yesterday as the head coach, so they'll have to bring in a new head coach for next year. Oklahoma, 57-49. The head coach for Oral Roberts, he's due. He's due for a Power 5 coaching job. Paul Mills been the head coach since 2017. Led Oral Roberts to the Sweet 16. Got another deep run potentially in them for this tournament. And he was on the head coaching staff for 14 years at Baylor, so he is no stranger to the Big 12 for Paul Mills. I bet you Oral Roberts, once again, they get a good chance to make a run in the bracket, and he's got a good chance to be the next head coach at Texas Tech probably for Paul Mills. Texas just blanking Oklahoma State here, 8-0. This Cowboys shooting is just dreadful. 1 for 10 from three-point range, 26% shooting, 0 for 6 to start off the second half as they've been blanketed 8-0 in the first 4 minutes and 18 seconds of the second half. 15:42 left to go. Penn State fighting for their tournament lives. They're doing that right now. 67-59, leading over Illinois. I don't know what to think about Illinois this year. I haven't really discussed them that much in my streams. I heard their ball handling's terrible. They can't defend the perimeter. They can't shoot a 3. And considering compared to other Illinois teams, like last year's Illinois team where they just barely squeaked past Chattanooga with Kofi Coburn, the year before they ended up losing. They were a heavy favorite. They were a 1 seed with Ayo DeSumo, and they got taken down by little brother Loyola Chicago in the second round. I think it's gonna be tough for them this year. Yeah, they're just inconsistent for Illinois. The most interesting seed to see is gonna be Missouri. Missouri's got a wavering seed. Jerry Palm's got them as a 6. I think Joe Lunardi's got Mizzou as an 8. It's going to be interesting to see like what happens with them in the SEC tournament. Because they can score. They can flat out score. They're one of the smallest teams, though, in college hoops because their defense is back in the 300s. And they played... I'm interested to see how they come out in this tournament for the SEC because they played all weak teams lately and they've come from behind and won. I'm not sure if that's sustainable when going into the bracket. They played against teams lately like Georgia, Ole Miss, South Carolina. All of those teams they've been just barely squeaking by. Missed shot off the rim by Oklahoma State, and it's going to go the other way. Texas basketball. 14:52 left to go. Man, these teams in the MAC can flat out score. Akron beating Buffalo today, 101-77. I know these MAC teams have been bracket busters before. Ohio from 2 years ago. Ohio against Georgetown back in the early 2010s. These MAC teams have done it in recent memory. And a timeout taken by Oklahoma State off the inbound. It was rolled after deliberation. Oklahoma State basketball. They couldn't get anybody open off the inbound. Wow. It's just been a rough game for Oklahoma State. We've already gone... We are now 1/4 through the second half, and Oklahoma State still has yet to record a point in the second half. This is just sad. 24% shooting in the entire game tonight for Oklahoma State. I mean, if Texas had Timmy Allen, they'd be destroying Oklahoma State like it was Texas Tech, Iowa State last year in the Big 12 tournament. And I'll admit it myself, I had said Iowa State was done. I think the final score was something like 72-41. Texas Tech, with their just loaded defense last year, shut down Iowa State. And Iowa State comes into the bracket, shocks everybody, and they go to the Sweet 16 and lose to Miami. This is not looking good for Oklahoma State. There's no way you can make it to the tournament if you fail to, if you can't even score 50 points tonight. There's no way. Right now, Joe Lunardi has Oklahoma State as the last 4 in. There's no way you can make it to the bracket if you don't manage to score 50. And right now they got 26 points with under 15 minutes left to go inside a key. Cowboys have it. Tough jumper contested. Blocked by Texas. Knocked out of bounds. Last touch, though, by the Longhorns off a car. So Lunardi's got them in the play-in game. And Jerry Palm just searching for Oklahoma State on his seed line. And I don't think he's got them. No, he doesn't. He actually has Oklahoma State below these teams. Arizona State, Boise State, Clemson, Memphis, which should not be bubble, Michigan, Mississippi State, North Carolina, Nevada, and then Oklahoma State above. Or no, he did it in alphabetical order. Okay, so that's why I'm realizing Penn State and Rutgers are below. But he doesn't have them listed. No, he's got his first 4, Penn State, Mississippi State, Michigan, Utah State, but that still has to change. He hasn't updated it yet because his update was from 6 a.m. this morning. Whereas Lunardi updated his directly after the Michigan loss. They were able to make the update on ESPN. So right now, Oklahoma State would take on Penn State in the play-in game, which Penn State's moving up. Penn State 69, Illinois 60. 14 minutes left to go. DePaul leading by 10 over Xavier, 61-51. And yeah, UNC on this last leg, 51-46. Inbound for Oklahoma State. 0 points in the first 6 minutes and 15 seconds for Oklahoma State until that finally Caleb Boone inside the key scores, and they make their first field goal of the second half. 6 minutes and 20 seconds in to half two. Kansas with a corner three. Morris missed off the back rim, and the rebound controlled by Oklahoma State. Pass midcourt with John Michael Wright. Michael Wright towards his left around the perimeter. Gives it out to his right to Quine Williams. Bounce pass, low block over to Caleb Boone. Inside the low post, puts it up, no good. Got a shot altered. Dylan DeSuit comes out with the basketball. BSW Wrestling Network, welcome to the stream. Thanks so much for joining in. 13 minutes left to go approaching this game. It's been a sloppy, gritty, defensive slugfest of a battle here. Struggling with both of these teams to finish shots. Oklahoma State struggled with turnovers. Christian Bishop at the baseline, and he'll draw the reach and fall, picked up by Woody Newton of the Cowboys. If you're new in the stream, make sure to hit the thumbs up, spike the like, hit the subscribe. I'll be back on later tonight covering K-State versus TCU, so feel free to join in for that stream if you guys would like as well. Inbound for Texas at the baseline. Jumper missed off the rim by Carr. Defensive rebound hauled down by John Michael Wright. Both of these teams have been cold. They've had the looks, just can't make them down. Texas 0 for 5 in their last 5 shot attempts. They've gone in a 4.5 minute scoring drought, but it's just the score shows what it shows right now. They're up by 15 because this Oklahoma State team just cannot make a bucket. And the Cowboys will head to the free throw line shoot too. Oklahoma State just going to get up the percentage here. As Caleb Boone will shoot 2 at the free throw line. Oklahoma State scored almost 40% of their points at the free throw line today. That's crazy. 11 made free throws of the 28 points on the board. First one's good by Boone. Boone scored all 3 points so far in the second half. Riley, welcome in. Hope all is going well. This has just been a disastrous game. Second free throw is good. 13-point lead. Texas with the ball, 12:40 remaining. Longhorns in a 5-minute scoring drought themselves, but the score shows what it is. They're up by 13. A wide open 3. That's good. Drills it down. Tyrese Hunter, absolutely lethal from the start. Scored the first 8 out of 10 points. Guess what? He's back for the second half. He's got 11 now. Out to the wing, catch and fire 3. Bryce Thompson missed off the back rim, and Oklahoma State still cannot make a 3. Carr, pass midcourt. Carr out to the wing. Open 3 transition, Arterio Morris. Missed off the back rim, and the rebound controlled by Caleb Boone. Pass midcourt for Oklahoma State, approaching 12 minutes left to go. Bryce Thompson at the top. Thompson makes the pass out to his right. Woody Newton with a 3. Woody cannot make it. Every single possession seems like it's a 3, and they cannot sink down anything. 1 for 14 from 3 for Oklahoma State. This offense just cannot get into any sort of rhythm tonight. DeSue. Hand off to Carr. Carr pass out to his right. Catch and fire 3 from the corner. Missed rim short by Carr. Rebound controlled for the Cowboys. Oklahoma State pass midcourt. 11:30 left to go in a low scoring matchup. They almost gave it away. Touch pass right corner. Bryce Thompson. Kick out to the wing. John Michael Wright will keep on trying. Takes the 3. Missed off the back rim. Offensive rebound as we get a whistle. And a fall picked up around the perimeter. Texas called in the reach and fall. Clock will stop at 11:25. And we'll head to the media timeout here. $11:25 left to go, and there's nothing dropping today for Oklahoma State. 22% shooting, 1 for 15 from 3. They've had look after look after look. It's missed off the back rim constantly. Man, cannot get a rougher game than this. Penn State trying to close it out over Illinois. Penn State fighting for their NCAA tournament lives. If they hold on and win, they would sweep Illinois and go 3-0 against the Fighting Illini this year. 72-65 Penn State, under 1 minute left to play. Virginia leading UNC 51-46, with under 8 minutes left to go. Xavier closing the gap on DePaul 61-56, still plenty of time remaining in that game. 12.5 left to go between DePaul and Xavier. Arkansas commanding 11-point lead against Auburn 59-48. Arkansas showing up, trying to see if they can peak at the right time. They certainly have the talent to do so for the Hogs. Certainly can make a deep run with all the talent that they have. And they'll be an 8 seed that definitely causes a 1 seed problems for Arkansas. They've got the talent. Can they just put it all together at the right time? That's the big key for the Hogs. And honestly, based on how Baylor's playing lately, Arkansas, I don't believe they had Nick Smith for that game at Baylor. It was at Baylor they lost by 3 without Nick Smith, if I'm not mistaken. Baylor's a 2 seed. They would have to move up to a 7. But that would be a rematch in the second round if they do that one for the SEC Big 12 Challenge in the tournament for a rematch back in late January. Yeah, it's just so tough to beat a team 3 times in a row. For Penn State, that's a really good sign for them. I mean, for Illinois, you didn't learn from the first time, you didn't learn from the second time. And that's a major issue. And if Illinois gets stuck with a team that can just light up threes all over them, then they're going to be out of the bracket. For Illinois, that's what Penn State does this season. It's all about if they can make and hit threes for Penn State. Yeah, Penn State with that win is probably going to put them maybe into a 10 seed. I would love to see a Penn State versus Pitt play-in game to start off the tournament, an 11 versus 11. I'm not sure if we're going to get that, though, with the Penn State win tonight. Might have pushed them up, considering the teams above them are falling right now, and Oklahoma State's one of those teams right next to Pitt on the bracket. You got 11 minutes left to go. You got to play the best basketball for the final 11 minutes to continue your season if you're Oklahoma State. Where has there ever been an 18 and 15 team to make the bracket? I don't know. Worst at-large record NCAA tournaments. Yeah, that would be amazing matchup. Let's see what the worst at-large record, if I can find it, was. I don't give records. Texas makes both of them at the line. Worst record again in at-large bid, 18 and 14. Arizona in 2008, Michigan State in 2011. Under 11 minutes left to play. Oklahoma State with the ball at top of the key. Handoff to Aquian Williams. Williams down to the low block, passes off to a cutter, and inside, Cisse has it. He is swarmed, puts up a tough shot, missed off the front run, battle for the rebound, pulled down by number 5, Caleb Asbury. Another chance for Oklahoma State. Down by 18 for the Cowboys, as they have it inside the key with Aquian Williams. Tough jumper, missed off the back rim. Another offensive rebound by Cisse. Over to the top of 3, straight away, it's good. by the Cowboys. Finally, somebody drills one. 15-point game. This game has been snail's pace. John Michael Wright with 5. Texas with the ball, approaching 10 minutes left to go. Dessou, runner, inside the key, floated up, no good. Offensive board, second chance, got fouled. And Dessou will shoot 2 at the free throw line. First one's good by Dessou. Yeah, man. Congrats out to Tyler Kolek. Hopefully Marquette can right the ship. That was a tough game they played against St. John's today. St. John's, they played each other not even a week ago, so St. John's has the whole full scouting report on how to play Marquette. Second free throw is good. Those are the toughest types of games when you play a team like three games during the course of a season. Like, there's no better opponent than your conference opponent. I remember there was one year that Indiana swept Michigan State, and that was the year that Michigan State went all the way to the Final Four back in 2019. But Indiana went 2-0 during the regular season against Michigan State, and Indiana didn't even make the tournament. They went like around 500 that year. Corner 3 in the air. And missed off the back rim by Oklahoma State by Bryce Thompson. Offensive rebound. Michael Wright out to his right to Asbury. Back over to Wright. Michael Wright dribble drive down the lane inside with the left hand. And he scores. Up and off the glass. Imagine if they did that much earlier in the game. Just got to the paint off dribble drive penetration. Things would be much, much easier right now in this matchup for their tournament chances for Oklahoma State. But down by 15. Approaching 9 minutes left to go with Texas using clock. This looking like it could be a tough one right now. The Longhorns back their way inside the key. Dylan Dessou. Dessou, turn around. No good. And a rebound pulled down at the baseline by the Cowboys. Oklahoma State needs urgency. Offense only 35 points. And we've gone through the first 31 minutes of action. And we have a fall around the perimeter picked up by Marcus Carr of Texas. The clock will stop with 8:50. Feel free to join in later tonight. I'll be covering K-State against TCU if you guys would like to come on by for that one. Hopefully a much better matchup. TCU without a key player. Eddie Lampkin has stepped away from the team. He announced yesterday. So Eddie Lampkin will not be with TCU. That's a major loss. Brings physicality to TCU. And not a good sign for TCU. Right there is Oklahoma State as well, turns it over. But TCU feeds off of his physicality. Last year he was massive in the second round against Oklahoma or Arizona. Took Arizona right to overtime as he was a force down low with him and working on Christian Coloco in that game. Yeah, Eddie Lampkin's out for the whole tournament, for the Big 12 tournament. He's out. So I don't know if it's going to be for March Madness as well, but it sounds like it could. I guess TCU is falling apart by the seams right now. So according to this article from about 12 hours ago, I got it up on 247 Sports. It's titled TCU Basketball, Eddie Lampkin Leaves Team. Mother alleges verbal abuse. Racial remarks by head coach Jamie Dixon. This TCU team right now is falling apart. I saw something containing text messages in it yesterday. Might have been on Twitter with the messages on it. Somebody had posted it on Twitter with a whole situation regarding Eddie Lampkin and the head coach at TCU. But this is not good. This is a couple of days after Mark Adams had, or the same day that Mark Adams had resigned. This came out yesterday. Mark Adams from Texas Tech. And That news story broke on Sunday when Mark Adams was one of his players, and now this happening at TCU with Lampkin being away from the team. So I'm interested to see how that goes tonight, because this TCU team is one of the most experienced teams in the field. Problem is, you might get Drake in the first round. If you do get Drake in the first round, you got a team that's got the same amount of experience, if not more, than you, which is odd to find. Missed pass down low by Texas, turnovers. It goes back to Oklahoma State. Pass swung out to the wing. 3 on its way, and that's over the rim. An air ball sent by Woody Newton. Down to the final 6.5 minutes. Texas up 60-35 in the Big 12 tournament quarters. This has just been a grind of a game tonight. Bad shot selection. Missed shots all over the place. Been a rough game to cover. And Oklahoma State shooting a low percentage from the floor. Throughout the entire course of the night, they have just been discombobulated. 22% shooting. 2 of 19 from three-point range. Tough one here today. Siegel, welcome in. Thanks so much for joining in on the stream, man. Timeout with 6:18 left to go. Just 9 points by Oklahoma State in the first 13.5 minutes plus of half 2. 9 points. You're supposed to have approximately the average team is going to put up around 10 to 12 more points than the whole minutes worked going into halftime. And Oklahoma State's backwards right now. They've got less points than a minute. You're supposed to go for at least a point for a minute, but more like 1.5 points per minute. Yeah. 1.5 points per minute will put you at 30 points. So that's basically like an average college basketball quarter, if not low scoring, because you're midway to 60, which you probably want more around 35 or so, 34, 35, more for the average scoring quarter if you're shooting to go for 70. Oklahoma State with 9 points. Siegel with a dono. You the legend, man. Really appreciate it. Let's get that dono hype on the stream for Siegel. And feel free to join in. I'll be back later tonight as well. Check out Kansas State versus TCU. I'll be covering that game. Tip-off will be a little bit later, past 9:30 p.m. later tonight. The winner of this game will take on the winner of TCU versus Kansas State tonight. And hopefully a much better game going on there. That one, honestly, might be a blowout, considering the distractions right now that TCU is going through. Kansas State's been a fun team to watch this season. Marquise Noel, I believe, is one of the top playmakers in college basketball. By the way, TCU, I just checked the line. TCU is a 2-point favorite tonight. You're going to be kidding me. TCU, a 2-point favorite without Eddie Lampkin against Kansas State. TCU is the 6th seed. Kansas State's the 3. I've been waiting for this the whole season. I've been asking myself the question, when is TCU going to come out? When are they going to come out and, be able to throttle an opponent? Do you not realize that K-State's won the last 4 out of 5 games? The only loss was at West Virginia on Saturday. West Virginia is one of the toughest places to play. And yet, TCU is the favorite tonight without Eddie Lampkin. It makes no sense to me. Hey, thanks so much, Derek. Really appreciate it, man. Sorry about that. I just read the second line, but no problem, man. So, right below the chat, there's the $sign next to the emoji there. Really appreciate it. You guys, the legends here on the channel. Yeah, TCU's been up and down. TCU at one point had a 4-game losing streak in the early and mid-February. They've been up and down. They're 2-2 in their last 4 games. One of those losses was a bad one at Oklahoma by 14 on Saturday. I mean, what's a worse loss? At West Virginia by 8 on Saturday, or at Oklahoma, who's eliminated by 14? I can't believe that many people are backing TCU tonight. 5:52 left to go as we're going to get back to action. Texas just 1 for 12 from the floor, but this is just like they're miles ahead because Oklahoma State cannot make a shot. Inbound coming up for Oklahoma State. Inbound underneath with Quine Williams. Goes to the perimeter to Bryce Thompson. Thompson at the top, guarded by Carr. Towards his left around the perimeter. Moves it out to the top of the key over to Caleb Boone. Boone shoots the 3, sinks it. Finally, somebody can make a 3 for Oklahoma State in this game. It's winning 12 right now, but still, once they cut it to single digits, it'll be something. Fighting for their tournament lives. Derek with a dono. You the legend, man. Really appreciate it. Thanks so much, brother. Rice. Down low, and he'll draw the blocking foul picked up by Caleb Boone and the Cowboys. So Serge Jabari Rice will head to the free throw line. 2 shots for Texas. First one's good. Serge Jabari Rice, he's been clutch in late game situations this year. Second one is good. And this is without Timmy Allen tonight for Texas. So they get a 14-point lead without Timmy Allen. This is just a major concern for Oklahoma State. It would take a miracle for them to get into the tournament. They need everybody else around them to lose. And I don't think that we've ever seen an 18-15 team make it in. The worst record ever to make it in was 18-14 twice. So for them, they would need to win a game and then they'd have to lose a game. And right now, the chance is slim with 5 minutes left. Wow, DePaul leading Xavier. Oh boy. And it's not like Xavier is playing one of the top offenses. That's what the problem is. Like, if Xavier gets put in the first round to play a team like Toledo or Oral Roberts, they're in deep, deep trouble. They can score. That game's going to be a track meet. But those teams are coming in with so much confidence. Like, both of those teams are going to come in with monster winning streaks. I feel like you got to take them when they're hot. The only time you can't take them when you're hot is when you go up against a defensive team that can lock you up. Like last year, Providence did exactly that to South Dakota State. They showed them like physicality and were able to lock them up because last year Providence's identity was physicality and defense. This year they're more offensive oriented, which has been odd. But those are the only teams that will be able to stop like an Oral Roberts team in the first round. Offensive foul picked up by Caleb Asbury as he just lowers the shoulder on Marcus Carr, gets called into offensive foul. Or Serge Jabari Rice. Rice the one who took the charge. Porter, welcome in. We did last year for baseball, but I'm not sure if we're going to do it this year or so I'm not sure just yet. Colin, thanks so much for joining in. Yeah, Minnesota's been playing better lately. I hear you there, man. Thanks so much, Derek. You're the legend. And thanks so much from his wife as well. Really appreciate it with Derek and his wife. You guys are awesome. 4 minutes left to go. Oklahoma State driving with a slam dunk two-handed finish by Caleb Boone, up to 9 points. 4 minutes left to go. Serge Jabari Rice, his pass deflected. And stolen away. Bad pass. He should have just taken a 3 out on the break. Oklahoma State jams it down again. Back-to-back slam dunks, and now they're making this a game. 10-point lead for Texas. Oklahoma State, though, getting right back into it. Timeout taken on the floor by the Longhorns with 3:47 left to play. So all of a sudden, things getting interesting now as Oklahoma State finally shows up, showing signs of life. Texas has missed their last 8 field goals from the floor. And I've been shocked by the aggressiveness in this game tonight. There's been a couple times that Jabari Rice has had an open 3 and he's just passed it up in this game. There hasn't been a breakout player tonight for Texas. Just everybody carrying their weight, though. 11 points each by Jabari Rice, Tyrese Hunter, Dylan Dessou, and then 10 by Arterium Boris. He's been great off the bench. 13 by Caleb Asbury, the lone player in double figures for Oklahoma State. Yeah, actually, Bryce has been on the stream for a while, man. If I could hit you up on one there, Bryce, because you've been on the channel for quite a bit of time. I'll hit you up on one, man. So there you go, Bryce. Really appreciate it for being a part of these streams now. It's been a couple of years you've been on here, I believe. Okay, so let's see what we got right now for scores. Virginia leading UNC 62-55. That's down to the final minute. So North Carolina, their tournament could be ending. It looks very well that UNC, the preseason number 1, could be eliminated from the bracket. I don't think it's going to be enough at all to get them there for North Carolina. They would need a miracle by this point. Certainly not helping that Penn State. Did they win? Yes, they did. Penn State winners over Illinois tonight, 79-66. That should be good for Penn State. Penn State with a win tonight should put them right into the bracket. So it's been a while since Penn State had made the tournament. Right into the bracket they'll go. DePaul leading Xavier 73-71 with under 6 left to go. Auburn closing the gap. It's now 70-67 Arkansas. 3 minutes remaining there. Auburn closing the gap. Yeah, thanks so much for the update there, Porter. I just hit you up on one. Because Porter's been on the channel for quite a bit of time, too, for the last couple of years. I remember. So there we go, Porter. Right now, it's a toss-up between Houston and Kansas for me. So that's the 2 I got right now. We got 3:47 left to go. Feel free to join in for K-State versus TCU later tonight. I'll be back around a little bit past 9:30. I believe that will tip off. I think there's like a 30-minute break. So after this game's over, like a 30-minute break before the next game. So it's going to be going a little bit over since this game's going to run over. Yeah, I'm kind of shocked that Kansas hasn't been put as the overall number 1 seed. Kansas only has 5 losses in the toughest conference in America for Kansas. Houston is 29-2, but Houston's played a much, much easier schedule. 3:30 left to go. Top of the key 3. Off the glass, missed, but Texas got fouled, and Marcus Carr got fouled on the 3-point shot, so he'll shoot 3 at the free throw line. Bad foul picked up by Oklahoma State. Oh, he got him right on the hand. Marcus Carr will shoot 3. Tough foul call picked up by Quyan Williams, number 13. I think Penn State will be a solid 11 or 10 right now for Penn State. So I think they avoid the play-in game. I think Penn State with that win actually jumps over Providence right now, honestly. I think Providence goes back and I think we're sweating it out, honestly, for Providence. Considering last year that the committee did Providence no justice and gave us South Dakota State for a first-round match, I wouldn't be shocked if Providence gets put in the play-in game, because Providence has just been totally disrespected year after year, it seems like, for college basketball by a ton of fan bases. And also Pitt this year has been disrespected throughout entire college basketball too for Pitt. A lot of fan bases are just like, why is Pitt even in there? So I think Pitt versus Providence could be a play-in game, honestly. And Penn State with that win should jump over Pitt and Providence. Mississippi State would need to win one more, I feel like, for them to be safe. But they'll probably be in the play-in game for Mississippi State based on how they've been playing lately. Texas made both of the free throws. 3 minutes left to go. Quick bucket just followed by Oklahoma State. So 3 minutes remaining. Texas with a possession. Top of the key, Christian Bishop. Bishop dribbles towards his left. Bounce pass off to a cutter. Carr stripped. Lost it. Out of bounds, the last touch by Carr. So Oklahoma State did not get a piece of it out of bounds as Marcus Carr lost it going up underneath the rim himself. It's a turnover by Texas. Oh, man, what a big ew for UNC. 68-59, Virginia. Yep, that's it for UNC. They're done. Bye-bye, UNC. That's a final score. Virginia wins over UNC. Big ew. By North Carolina, the preseason number 1 will miss the bracket. Watch Rutgers be in the play-in game once again for them. Rutgers a year ago lost to Notre Dame in the play-in game. (54-45), 2:40 left to go. It's going to be Oklahoma State basketball off the made free throw. At the corner, 3. He got fouled. No, he did not get fouled from 3. There was a ton of contact. Caleb Asbury put up a shot, but it wasn't even close. No call by the referees. Wow. It's a major call that did not go. Called by the refs. 2:20 remaining. Texas using clock time right now. Carr at the top. Carr guarded one-on-one by Bryce Thompson. Pass out to his left to Dessou. Dessou at the left wing. Hand off to Serge Jabari Rice. He's been clutch this season late in games. He drives right to the rim and scores with a right-handed layup. Serge Jabari Rice with 2 minutes left to go. Critical layup to put Texas up by 11. He's up to 13 now, the top scorer for Texas. 4 players double figures for the Longhorns. Serge Jabari Rice 13. Dylan Dessou, Tyrese Hunter with 11. Arterio Morris off the bench with 10. 1:45 left to go. Oklahoma State's got to go. They got to go. They're using a lot of clock time. The shot clock's down to 10. At the left baseline, and they stepped out of bounds with it. Turnover by Quian Williams. Stepped out of bounds in the corner. Didn't even realize that he was out of bounds. Brutal. 18th turnover of the game by Oklahoma State. Brutal when it's come down to turnovers. That's been the big difference maker. 20-7 points off turnovers in favor of Texas today. 1:30 left to go. Texas by 11. Using clock right now. Feel free to join in for K-State versus TCU later today. Last time I checked a look at the line, TCU, the 6th seed, was a 2-point favorite over Kansas State tonight without Eddie Lampkin Jr. Don't ask me why. I have no clue, but that is crazy to say, nevertheless, that TCU is the favorite entering tonight's game. Oklahoma State with a steal. They take it quick up the floor, and they draw Texas into a reach and follow. The Cowboys now into the bonus. Also, Texas has been in the bonus for a while. They're actually in a double. So Oklahoma State's committed. Oh, yeah, they're way over the limit. 1:08 remaining. 2 shots at the line for the Cowboys. That's number 8 picked up by Texas as a team in the second half. First shot is good by Caleb Asbury. Before you sign off tonight, feel free to hit the thumbs up, spike the like, hit the subscribe, and appreciate all for joining in, being a part here on the stream tonight. Texas will advance tomorrow. I plan on covering both of the semifinal matches tomorrow. Also, I'll be back around a half an hour later tonight with K-State TCU. So Texas in action tomorrow night. If they survive, feel free to join on back. We got about a minute left to go. Texas with an inbound. Jabari Rice pass midcourt. Here he goes inside a key. Sir lost it out of bounds off his knee. It's a turnover by Texas with 1 minute even. Wow, Arkansas Auburn, what a roller coaster game. Yeah, that's exactly how I thought it would go today. Arkansas out in command early, but Auburn has taken a lead. They go back and forth with under 30 seconds left to go there. Turnover by Oklahoma State as their tournament chances are just dwindling right now. 40 seconds left to play, or 42 seconds left to play, and Texas will head to the free throw line, shooting 2 with Sir Jabari Rice, a reach-in called by Caleb Boone. Hey, there you go, Derek. Thanks so much. That's awesome, man. Yeah, it's about I think a 30-second delay usually. It's like the lag. So 2 shots coming up by Sir Jabari Rice. 42.1 seconds remaining. Winner of this game will take on K-State and TCU. The 3 versus 6 coming up next. The first one's good. Yeah, no problem. Dylan Dessou records his first double-double this season. 11 points, 11 rebounds. Coming in strong. I remember a couple weeks ago, I think, he was like they had lost that game against Baylor on a Saturday afternoon from a few weeks back, but he was the lone one who carried them in that game. Deep range 3 by Oklahoma State, missed off the back rim, and the rebound control by Sir Jabari Rice. Top scorer, number 2 rebounder, he's got 15 and 8 tonight. And Oklahoma State will not foul. Texas just going to dribble out the clock. It was a sloppy game on both sides of the floor tonight. Missed shots all over the place. Defensive slugfest here. 36% shooting by Texas, but able to get the job done. Oklahoma State held to just 27% shooting and a dreadful 3 for 21 from three-point range. Texas shoots the jumper. Believe they're going to call it. They haven't put 60 on the board just yet as the shot clock was going down. Should be 60-47. Well, they got in the stat machine 60-47. They do right now. So it has gone final 60-47. The final score, Texas wins over Oklahoma State as Texas will advance, playing the Big 12 tournament semis tomorrow versus the winner of Kansas State versus TCU. Low scoring matchup here between these two teams as Oklahoma State's offense could not get rolling. And according to Joe Lunardi, they were in the last 4 in, but the best record ever to get to the tournament, or the worst record ever to get to the tournament as a play-in team has been 18-14. So 18-15 now for Oklahoma State. I feel like that's going to be really tough. I know the Big 12 absolutely stacked this year for the Big 12, but I feel like it's going to be tough considering how they've been struggling down the stretch for Oklahoma State as this game has gone final. I'll be back tomorrow. Feel free to join in for Texas in the semifinals tomorrow night if you guys would like to catch that. If you guys are a Hook'em Horns fan, feel free to also join in for K-State versus TCU in a little bit. I'll be back in around 25 minutes to a half an hour from now covering K-State TCU. That's who Texas will face, the winner of that matchup. Thanks all for joining in, everybody. And we're going to close out here to the channel members before I do wrap up. All right, all channel members get a shout out at the end of each and every single one of my live streams here. We got Jason, Rajeep, Russell, Oreo Pudding, Bradley, Braden, Mario, Bino, Mark, John, Kenneth, Jess, Ahino, Joseph, Vegas, HD Sports Talk, Michael, Warren, I Am Ghost, Kelly, Asia, Laszlo, Roderick, Reynaldo, Didi, Katie, Barco, Siegel, Woo Pig, Ian, Oink Oink, Emmanuel, and Robin. That's a wrap to this one. Texas winning the matchup over Oklahoma State, 60-47 the final score. Oklahoma State will have to wait to see if they make it into the bracket, as they have lost now the last 6 out of 8 games to wrap up the season for the Cowboys. Thanks so much all for joining in, and enjoy the rest of your night.